Welcome to this week's Rise with Michelle, the slow art of restoration. I was talking with a dear friend recently, someone who, like me, has been through the fire of Lyme treatments and chronic illness. We've both done the hard work. We've done the killing, the cleansing, the endless protocols, different doctors, different travels in our journey. And now finally, there's some relief, some light, a sense that maybe we're headed toward restoration. But that conversation had me thinking, we spend so much time fighting what's wrong that we forget how to even restore what's right. We talk about detoxing, eradicating, pushing through. But what about the rebuilding of it all? What about the aftermath, the body that survived the storm but still trembles from the aftershock? And that's what this episode is about. It's not the war itself, but what comes after. The slow, intentional work of learning to live again, of restoring what's been lost, and remembering that healing doesn't end when the treatment stops. It begins when the body finally feels safe enough to rest. Because here's the truth, everyone loves the comeback story, the hero's journey, the before and the after, the look how far I've come. But no one talks about the in between, the slow, quiet work of restoration, the part where your body looks healed, but your heart still flinches, where peace feels unfamiliar and you don't quite know who you are without all of the chaos. And that's the season I want to talk about today, because that's where most of us actually live, in the space between healing and actually becoming. They tell you to celebrate when you're better, but no one tells you how to live in the quiet after the battle. When the body stops fighting, but the soul still doesn't know how to rest. For me, it's been 9 years since the first treatment, but this isn't just about Lyme. This is about what happens after any survival season. The part no one talks about, the rebuilding that happens when the world moves on and you're left learning how to breathe again. There's a silence that follows healing, a kind that is not just peaceful yet just unfamiliar. My blood work looked better, the symptoms softened, but I still woke up scanning for danger, because when you've lived in survival so long, even safety feels unsafe. Even stillness feels like something you have to earn. And maybe your version in life isn't illness. Maybe it's divorce or grief or burnout or the exhaustion of carrying everyone else's needs while your own have gone silent. Whatever your version is, you and I are not that different. We're both remembering what it means to feel safe inside our own skin again. I used to think restoration meant going back to the woman I was before illness or before loss or before pain, before grief. But that woman is not here. She's gone. And maybe yours is too. The real question isn't how do I get it back? It's who am I now? Who am I without the war? Who am I when I no longer need to prove I can survive it all? Because restoration isn't about recovery. It's about remembering what your body felt like before it was afraid, what your voice sounded like before it was filtered through fear. That you who were never broken, you've just been buried under the noise. Through subconscious healing, the deep sessions, the breath, the tears, the stillness, the shedding of it all, I learned something medicine never could. And the body doesn't heal through control. It heals through safety. Through the body finally, though the body finally believing it's okay to let go. The mind wants timelines. The body wants trust. Restoration is slow because it's teaching your cells a new rhythm. It's showing your nervous system that rest isn't the same as danger. It's rewriting the code that says if I stop moving, I'll lose all of my progress. The slow art of restoration is rebuilding the bridge between your body and your spirit. It's listening to what your body has been whispering all along. I don't need you to fix me. I just need you to stay. This is where the R.I.S E framework comes alive. We reclaim the moment you stop trying to go back and instead decide to meet yourself right here, right now. We inspire through the breath that reminds you you're still becoming, even in the stillness, to strengthen the daily rebuilding of trust between your body, your spirit, and your stories, to empower the choice to live from alignment, not just achievement, from peace, not proof. And this is what it means to rise through restoration, not forcing, not fixing, but flowing. Allowing life to rebuild you at the pace your nervous system can actually hold. And if you're in that in between place where your body is steady but your soul still trembles, I see you. You're not behind, you're rebuilding. Maybe if you stopped chasing those miracles and started craving peace. Maybe you're tired of fighting and just ready to feel again. That's where your restoration begins, not in the race back to who you were, but in the gentle remembering of who you've always been. You think restoration is the end of healing, but it's actually the masterpiece healing that was preparing you for. Because the body doesn't return, it rebuilds. And in that rebuilding, you become someone new. This, my friends, is the slow art of restoration, the rhythm between healing and becoming. And this is what we explore inside the R.I.S E Tribe All Access. It's the work beneath the surface, the rebuilding of safety, the restoration of your true identity, the remembering of who you are beyond survival. If this conversation stirred something in you, I invite you to come deeper. You don't have to do this part alone. You can find the link in the description to join R.I.S E Tribe All Access, or just simply comment R.I.S E. This is where we walk this path together, one restoration at a time. And if this message resonates with you, or you know someone walking through their own restoration season, I invite you to share this video with them. And be sure to subscribe, like, and leave a comment. I read every single one, and your words always remind me why this work matters. You never know whose healing begins with your story. See you next week, same space, same heart. And until then, we're not broken, we're in the in-between and still rising.